Hey everyone, I'm Jeremy and this is Sticky Note Parenting, where we are striving to edit our parenting so that it will transform us, then our kids. I don't know about you, but one of the things that parenting brings out in me is a lack of patience. It's so confounding to me that I can be so patient with so many people outside of my house. There's few things that draw out impatience when it comes to everyday life, everything outside of my house. But inside of my house, it tends to be my least patient form of myself. And as I read in 1 Corinthians 13, one of the descriptions of love, in fact, the first way that the Apostle Paul describes love is he says, love is patient. There's something about patience that captures the heart of who God is, what God is all about, and what God wants from us. But yet, I go about my life, my parenting, my role as a husband, and I tend to be least patient with the people whom I love the most. And so if love is patient, patience is kind of this epitome of what love is, but those with whom I love the most, I tend to be the least patient with. I don't know about you, but maybe you can relate with that. There were some amazing verses in the book of Ecclesiastes. Solomon, who was one of the wisest people who ever lived, God gave him this gift of wisdom. And it says, he writes in Ecclesiastes 7 verse 8, it says, the end of the matter is better than its beginning, and patience is better than pride. Notice this. The end of a matter is better than its beginning. I wish that my impatient self, could just get to the ending rather than having to deal with the beginning. Rather than having to go through that grind and that pain and that anxiety and that worry and wondering, how will this play out? And then I run through all the worst case scenarios. It could go like this, and it could go like this, and it could go like this. And then my wife, Laura, and I, we then grind about it together. And then sometimes she thinks it'll go like this, and I think it'll go like this. And then we have tension and argument amongst ourselves because we disagree with how this story will unfold. But notice what it says. The end of the matter is better than its beginnings, and patience is better than pride. Patience is better than pride. I had to read this a few times because I was like, I don't know. In fact, I had a conversation with my friend Matt, like, what is an antonym? What is the opposite of patience? And here Solomon is using this word pride as an opposite of patience. It says patience is better than pride. And for me, this light went on that so often when I am impatient, it is when my pride wins the day. When I am working the story out in my own head and insisting that it has to go like this. And then I impose that story on my kids or my wife. And when it doesn't go the way that I want it to go, my impatience goes from a 0 to a 10, and all of a sudden, I am a much worse version of myself, and I'm certainly not living out that love that God called us to live. And then, in fact, the next verse, it says this, do not be quickly provoked in your spirit, for anger resides in the lap of fools. That's exactly what happens in my most impatient moments, is that I'm provoked in my spirit. That anger comes out of me because the story is not going the way that I want it to go. I'm impatient, and therefore anger comes out of me. maybe for you, this is your story as well. But this encouragement from Ecclesiastes, patience is better than pride. Patience is better than pride. Paul says again in 1 Corinthians 13, love is patient. And so that's something that I need to continue to tweak, is I want to be patient with my kids and my wife. I want to be patient with everyone. I want to be confident to know that God will work this story out, and I don't need to be the one in control. I can release my pride and trust in the God who is actually in control. I don't know about you, but for me, this is a big tweak. This is a big edit, but this is something that when I apply it, it absolutely transforms my parenting. It transforms my role as a husband to my wife, because, as Solomon says, patience is better than pride. So let's go this week, parents. Let's work on love is patient. Let's work on patience being better than pride. Let's go.